What a fine sight this is, and today we were headed off in Glencoe to what some describe as the steepest climb in its category in Glencoe. And although we were heading along a familiar path, we weren't actually heading for the top of the mountain today. We were heading for the east face of one of the three sisters called Anich Dhu, the others being Gear Anich and Ben Fata. But it was Anich Dhu we were heading for. And I tell you what, it was looking fine this morning. And before we reached the climb, we were going to stop for a wee cup of tea and a wee hidey hole that Jerry knew all about. Oh, look at this, eh? Well, hello folks, and we're in a familiar location, but I'm really quite excited. In fact, you could say that I'm quivering with excitement today for what we're about to do, which we're looking over at the moment. But before we head over, Jerry's brought me to this lovely little hidey hole, which is just perfect for a wee cup of tea, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a famous place. This is a very historic place. It's a house. For those of you who are not Scottish, know what a house is. It's a shelter, an improvised shelter. You can see the rocks have been piled up here under this natural overhang. The story goes with this, and it's been a wee while since I've read it, so if you're an aficionado, don't pick me up on this. Is that this space here that we're looking at, which is the east face of Anich Dhu, which is where we're going today, was opened up by Bill Murray and I think it was Mackenzie, his pal. And they came up here and they spent a couple of days living in this house and picking off all the roots, doing first ascents on this cliff. And the feature of it, maybe Murray will cut to a picture, the defining feature of the face is there's a series of lines which look a bit like a bow, a sort of bow and arrow type bowstring, and there's a vertical series of chimneys which is quite dark and it drops down, and that's the string of the bow, and that's a route that goes at Diff called the bowstring. And to the right of that you can see the curving crack that forms the bow, like a long bow, and that's divided into two, a lower part of the bow, the lower bow, and the upper bow, separated by a terrace. And they did these routes and then they opened up the whole face, and over to the right there are all these black streaks. That's called the Weeping Wall, and there's fantastic routes there called things like Spider and can't remember it, the Weeping Wall route, and Eve's Erect on the corner is a fantastic route with a tremendous traverse. But the other routes have all got this sort of archery theme going. So there's the bowstring, the lower and upper bow, and then there's Quiver Rib, the quiver to the side of the bow, and then there's Archer Ridge, which is the classic of the face as well, which goes, I think, severe. And so on. There's a few others that have the archery theme later routes up there as well. But it's a tremendous face and there's lots to do on it.
Yeah, good, isn't it? I mean, we're going to be heading up there and we'll reveal which route we're going up. You might have guessed it already, but yeah, this is actually, we're literally about 10 metres from the main path. And I said to Jerry, the amount of times that I've walked past this on the way up to Bidgeon or Stopcore and Lochan, just don't look up and see it. So
the number of times I've said it, there's the house, and you go, yeah.
That's because I'm trying to catch up with you.
Just him again.
I'm just watching your heels disappear in the dust.
He's bumping his gums again.
Right, so we'll stop here, get a bite to eat, and then we're going to traverse the hillside and get onto the climb, and we'll report back there. Right, we'll get a wee bite to here, Jerry. We eventually left the wee house which Bill Murray and Donald McIntyre must have used as they opened up the face and did these routes for the first time. How exciting would that have been knowing nobody had been up here before and climbed these rock faces. Anyway, we had to cross the small burn by a lovely waterfall to reach the other side and the slopes, the steep slopes that lead up to the bottom of the east face of Anich Dhu. As always, the views are spectacular in every direction, and after a bit of huffing and puffing, we reached the point where we'd sort ourselves out, get our helmets on and the rest of our gear ready before thinking about tackling the climb. Aye, of course. Alright, we're over at the wall now, as you can see. You might be able to make out, I'm not sure, but behind me is the first part of Lower Bow, and we'll head up there to get to the start of the route that we're going up. It's quite a steep face, funnily enough, seeing as it's a rock climb. But it's been a wee while. This will be the first climb this year, and certainly we probably managed a couple of scrambles and easy climbs last year, but it's been a wee while since we've done anything committing like this, because of obviously COVID last year, and even the year before that, I think injuries, and anyway, it's been a few years, so we're looking forward to this. But yeah, it might be a bit rusty. We'll need to get our eye back in, but it's fantastic. We've come up here, we've seen deer, we saw a massive eagle crossing above us. Hopefully he's not got a nest up there. Not many people will have been up here during COVID, so we'll soon find out if we put our hand over and get it bitten off by a 6 foot eagle. But, anyway, yeah, we're going to get geared up, and then we'll get ready to rock and roll up Lower Bow and then up to the climb. Fantastic. Essential food when you're climbing with your yellow trousers and banana boots on is you have to have a banana.
The monkeys eat bananas and they're good climbers.
Exactly, there you go. So you've heard it first here, not just for the yellow banana boots and yellow banana trousers, but monkeys eat bananas.
Banana man.
So we're, well, Banana Man flies, isn't he? So that's even that's nice, isn't it? Anyway, banana, essential food before climbing. After wolfing down my banana and feeling good about it, we felt ready to tackle the first part of the climb, the Lower Bow. So we set about taking off our approach shoes and popping on our rock shoes, and up we went, and we did rope up for this, as we hadn't been on the rock for quite some time. The last time we came up here and did this, we just soloed up this moderate climb. It's not as difficult as the climb ahead, but still the rope provided some security, and before long we were on the terrace and looking at the climb ahead, which was called Quiver Rib. The schematic here shows the route that we took up the lower section of the face of the rock called Lower Bow, which, as I said, is about 60 metres and it goes at moderate grade. And at this point we were ready to set off for the main event of the day, Quiver Rib, which is classed as difficult and is about 55 metres. Now I must admit I made a bit of a boo-boo. I didn't switch my camera on, so Jerry took some pictures of me leading up the first pitch of Quiver Rib, and when I got to the belay, got myself sorted, and yeah, realised that I hadn't switched my camera on, which is on now. So Jerry then came up to the belay point, halfway up Quiver Rib, where I was waiting for him, and he set off on the hardest part of the climb. And this is really the really exciting part. Just at this point, the route moves from right to left as you're looking at it, and not long after the point where you belay, or the anchor point, is the crux of the entire route. In climbing terms, it's a relatively, I wouldn't say easy, but it's not the hardest climb in the world, and there's good protection and the holds are all there, but that one move just beyond the first belay can be a wee bit tricky, and it's certainly exposed, definitely exposed if you haven't been on such a rock climb for 2 or 3 years, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Jerry was soon striding on up Quiver Rib and reaching the penultimate section before just popping out of sight, where he'd go and set up a belay to take me up. After a short period of time, Jerry got himself set and indicated to me it was time for me now to climb up and remove some of that gear, and it certainly is a lovely position. Now, this is the 360 camera, and I don't make any apologies for it. It does skew the angle a lot, but it's just the easiest way to film these climbs. You do definitely need both your hands at the ready and don't want to be faffing about with the camera, so I just popped it on and just let it run for the duration. Don't worry, you're not going to get everything. I've tried to edit it down so you're not bored out of your brains watching it, but you do get a sense of the type of rocket is nice big holes, lovely protection, and certainly a lovely exposed feel. And for its grade, as I said earlier on, it's often said to be the most exposed diff climb in the country, and rightly so, especially up towards the upper reaches here. Just as you're finishing the climb, the exposure beneath your feet is magnificent, and you can see right down back into Glencoe. A fantastic place to be. After finishing Quiver Rib, we moved on to safer ground, and at this point we were keen to get those rock shoes off. You forget how sore they can be on your toes, and we changed back into our approach boots, and we decided to scramble up a bit further to find a route down to the left. There is an abseil station at the top of the climbs, but we decided to do a bit of mountaineering, and this actually proved to be the hardest part of the day. It's quite a complex hillside up here, so you do have to be careful and pick the right route down so you're not coming down too steep terrain. Anyway, on the way down we had this distinct feeling we were being watched. Oh, right. Oh, there's a few midges about in there, Jerry.
One or two.
Aye. So we've, I don't know the last time we did a bit of camera, whether it was here. Yeah, we didn't do, we went on to the climb and we accessed, what was the name of the climb we did? Quiver
Rib. So, classic diff, meant to be the most exposed diff in the country. I must admit, it felt like that. We've done it a number of times. With 2-year layoff. It felt exposed today, especially the top pitch is fantastic. You maybe see some video. I think Murray took some video of it.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I had the 360 camera, so it's I wasn't worrying about the video. and unlike my usual YouTube videos where I'm thinking about exposure, I'm more thinking about not falling off the side of a rock face,
which is always a good idea. Yeah. But that's we went up the lower bow. You probably can see in the background the curving thing. Up the lower bow, up to there's a big terrace up there, and then Murray led us up the first pitch of Quiver Rib, and nice wee kind of sketchy belay. You need to set it up, equalise nuts and stuff, and then there's this lovely traverse on very positive holds, which is just
that's good, wasn't it?
Walking in the sky.
Yeah, I was
and then
glad you were doing that bit.
Some serious mountaineering to get back down.
Probably the hardest bit of the day was coming back down. There is an abseil station, but yeah, I mean that's you're putting your 100% reliability in the rope. So we scrambled further up and then round, and yeah, a bit of mountaineering required.
Interesting, complex hillside.
Yeah.
But right above Murray's head, you can see there's a big black line there. That's the bowstring. There's a wee tree, a wee rowan growing out of it now. Yeah. And that's quite a nice route as well. It goes at Diff as well. It's really only that first corner that's Diff.
Yeah, but yeah,
probably didn't want to know maybe,
that. Some more useless information. Just press play and let Jerry go. Yeah. So anyway, right, we're just going to pack up now and head back down. So hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there, and we shall see you.
Stay classy.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy, but lucky.
See you next time. All that was left to do now was cross back across the burn, and we were soon heading our way back down to the car after a fabulous adventure. What a great way to spend the afternoon in Glencoe.